I did last month. I read The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead, um, which I had planned to finish it because they had a film come out this year that was nominated for Academy Awards. And I was trying to finish it before I watched it, and then I was trying to watch it before the Academy Awards, and I finished the book, but I did not watch the movie. I think part of the reason why I didn't watch the movie was because having finished the book just a week or so prior, I didn't really want to be depressed. Because it's a great book, and it's very like charming in a literary. I don't know. I keep using literary as a verb. It's like charming. Like the main characters, the heroes are charming, and the writing is charming, and the world is engaging and also easy to read and digestible. But like every couple chapters, or if not every chapter, something really tragic happens. This is the first novel I've read by Colson Whitehead, and I remember it drawing conversation. I remember it winning the Pulitzer Prize, and also I think part of the reason I remember it is because he also had a very popular book called The Underground Railroad, which I also haven't read, obviously, because this is the first one I've read. But I was surprised to see after I started it that it came out in 2019. So time really flies, especially in reading, because reading takes so long. But then he came out with another book this year, which I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, back to this story. So The Nickel Boys is a fictional book, although it's based on real events. It's mirroring reality, and so basically it's about this hyper abusive boys' home for it's like a juvenile delinquent home, which the actual plot of the book takes place in the 60s. And it covers the 60s up until I think modern times, or within the last decade or so. And it's basically about some of the youths, particularly black children, who are forced into this juvenile delinquency hall and how they're treated there. I'll just give an early example, which is actually kind of like the beginning of the tragedy, but I don't want to talk about the middle or end of the book. But one of the main characters, and I think probably technically the main character, his name is Elwood, and it begins with him outside of the juvenile home, and he is basically like this really promising, super studious and striving young student, and he actually gets the opportunity to start taking college courses. I can't remember how old he is, but he's probably like, I would guess 14 or around then, maybe in early high school. I might be wrong. But basically he gets the opportunity to start taking college level courses because of his grades and whatnot. And on the way to go to take these courses, he's forced to hitchhike. And on the way there, he actually gets arrested because I think the person he hitchhiked with, I think it said he stole a car. He hitchhiked in a stolen car. I think that's what happened. So basically, it wasn't really his fault at all, or it wasn't his fault at all. And it was like this flip of a switch where first things are going to be going really well for his future, and then out of like sheer bad luck, and then also prejudice and racism, what was supposed to be a really good thing in the blink of an eye becomes him finding himself in this juvenile detention center. That's one of the worst in history. Like I said, this is a fictional story, but at the end of the book, the author cites a bunch of places that he was drawing from that are real places. So like the names and the actual center itself are fictional, but he was drawing from real stories and also real detention centers, and sort of the, I don't know if like malpractice is probably not the right word, but like corporal corporal obscenity. I don't know how to describe it. Like basically illegally running these homes in a very abusive way, which spirals from corporal punishment all the way up to murder. So I guess that's a content warning for what happens in this story. Like I mentioned before, the book was very readable despite all that. Like the actual on a sentence level, chapter level, communication level, it was pretty straightforward. And so I think I was kind of analyzing that in my mind a lot more than I realized at first, because first of all, it did win the Pulitzer Prize. And so I think when I started it, I knew it was a great book. I knew that it was saying something important, but I couldn't help but wonder why this particular book was the one that won the Pulitzer. And I know it's been, I mean, I love a lot of authors that when they were nominated or when they won or whatever, I was like kind of wondering if it's because more so or just as much about their past career as it is about the present book that's been nominated. But I also wanted to try and figure out what about this specific book made it a Pulitzer Prize winner when it felt to me that the storytelling was kind of minimal in its chapters and its language and the way that it decided to tell what it needed to tell. I think what I kind of decided upon, one reason it might be the decision, is because what it was trying to communicate was more important than having the sentences be poetic, for lack of a better word, I guess, or just for having the scenes be more descriptive, having the chapters be longer, you know. Because the book itself, you could probably read it in like 3 hours or maybe 4. And a lot of the scenes, they're almost like they're trying to tell you, not in the sense of show don't tell, but it's almost like they're trying to tell you a story as opposed to immerse you in a story, I felt. Because a lot of the information that we receive, it reads as like a nonfiction book. And although it is fiction, it reads as a nonfiction book. Which, I mean, and also like to contradict myself, maybe that's important to do even though these characters are fictional. It's supposed to make you know and make you think about the fact that despite these characters and this place was a creation of the author, like these things really did happen. And so that's sort of a parallel where it's a fiction book, but the story is telling these things really did happen. There's also a pretty major twist, not in the thriller sense of the word twist, but there's a twist in the story and in what actually happened that gets revealed at the end that is just as tragic as all of it, but it's not like Sixth Sense, you know what I mean? It's not like that sort of twist. It's like you learn something and it changes everything, and then it almost makes you need to think about all the scenes again, or think about definitely like the ending chapters. You have to kind of look at them a little more closely because of this twist. I do wonder how the film did it. I think I have an idea how they did it, but it's one of those things that having it happen in writing is pretty powerful. And I think I can kind of imagine ways that you can use visuals to tell it, but it was one of those things where like seeing the words and then interpreting the words. that's kind of what the twist is all about, is like interpreting the words, or interpreting what's actually happening and what you're picturing in your mind as you read it. It changes in the end of it.